Well, like I said, most of our experience in choirs was in school. And so we got kind of accustomed to that. Singing in church, it was just a joy. It was always fun to sing in church, to be with all those wonderful, loving people who believed in God. And so, you know, it just came naturally. And there were people who enjoyed it. Nervous? Of course we were, but we wanted to do it, so we did it.
It was a healthy nervous.
Right? We just would do our best, and when people would say they enjoyed us, they clapped, they smiled, they spoke to us after. So it was just joyful because, we grew up in church, so just always enjoyed that environment. So it was just a part of being a part of God's program.
What I also remember is being very, very shy. And so if we were in the program, people would walk up to us and say hello rather than us having to go out and introduce ourselves. We were introduced through our music.
I wouldn't say that.
We
No,
didn't think so. No.
it was music was just a normal part of our life.
When we got invited, on the circuit to join in, we were very different from other people. So it was, you know, always, kind of interesting and like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we appreciated the people enjoyed what we had to offer and that we were invited, even though we weren't doing what everybody else was doing, which was gospel. You mean, did we ever want to do gospel? Sometimes I'm sure, and we'd sing along with choirs and learn the songs. But as an a cappella trio, gospel just didn't quite work. We did spirituals and hymns, things that lent themselves to being unaccompanied. Gospel, it works better with some accompaniment going on. Okay, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. We weren't in a choir, we were just a trio. No, we needed accompaniment for the gospel, and we don't use any. You needed piano, drums, maybe a trumpet or a saxophone here and there, or a flute. You needed accompaniment to do the gospel, and we didn't use any. We didn't have any accompaniment. We could all play the piano, but we didn't play by ear or improvise or anything like that. We were taught to read music, and so doing gospel required something that we couldn't carry with us. So we used what we had, our voices. We were in college studying voice as well as other subjects. And we uh,
We weren't singing much
we were in
together.
choirs, and I think by the time we'd been in college a year or two, we weren't really singing as a trio anymore. Not very often, anyway. And eventually, not at all.
Yes.
We were in
Right.
college. We were getting our
Right.
degrees.
Right. Everyone got their bachelor's degree, bachelor's of arts or bachelor's in music for Sharon, and went on to work at the school district. Cheryl and Sharon were teachers, and I worked in personnel. So we definitely kept busy, and we definitely shared our music experiences and knowledge, them more directly in the classroom, but I was also in my church choirs and like that, so I was still participating with music.
Well, she mentioned all of us. Cheryl, will talk about your teaching.
Oh, well, I taught in elementary school. I came into the school district teaching music. And I also taught piano privately and uh, got to see a lot of young people grow. I had a couple of students who went into music back there, I believe, and we run into them once in a while. But now I think everybody's broadened out in their own directions. I don't see too many anymore. But I think I kind of patterned after my aunt, who was our music teacher, and had my students come in with their parents and take their lesson and go. And so then my sisters taught my daughter her music.
I taught music in Oakland Unified School District for 36 years. I taught every level from K to 12, most of it in junior high or middle school, and but I did finish with high school. I also taught some private piano and did some private voice lessons and coaching. And I still enjoy that. Still enjoy doing the private lessons and coaching, preparing people for auditions or preparing people for performances. I still enjoy doing that. One thing I always told my students is my job was to make sure they could sing their whole life long, not just until they were in their 30s, but until they were in their 90s. And so I would teach them how to protect their voices and move forward. I'm also, I don't like thinking about how long I've been the alto soloist at my church, but it's been over 40 years. I started when I was a sophomore, I think, in college, and I'm still there as alto soloist. We'll probably stop any minute, but I'm still there. I still enjoy singing with the church choir there.
No.
No, that wasn't part of our ambition. Not for us, not for my mother. People have to just remember us. We can certainly try. We chose just a little Negro spiritual. Like I said, we haven't sung together for over 40 years. So we picked a little Negro spiritual that's usually enjoyable called Somebody's Knocking, and it's our own arrangement of it. Well, I don't know about that. The Negro
original.
spiritual is historical.
And the
Our
original
arrangement.
arrangement.
Are just arranged by it. Somebody's knocking at your door. Somebody's knocking at your door. Oh, sinner, why don't you answer? Somebody's knocking at your door. Knocks like Jesus, somebody's knocking at your door. Knocks like Jesus, somebody's knocking at your door. Oh, sinner, why don't you answer? Somebody's knocking at your door. Can't you hear him? Somebody's knocking at your door. Can't you hear him? Somebody's knocking at your door. Oh, sinner, why don't you answer? Somebody's knocking at your door. Jesus calls you. Somebody's knocking at your door. Jesus calls you. Somebody's knocking at your door. Oh, sinner, why don't you answer? Somebody's knocking at your door. Can't you trust him? Somebody's knocking at your door. Can't you trust him? Somebody's knocking at your door. Oh, sinner, why don't you answer? Somebody's knocking at your door.
Thank you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was interesting getting together and getting back into it again. So
You kind of realize how old you are and how long ago it's been when you start pulling
Yes.
yourselves back together after 40 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
It
Still love music.
it was fun, and it was part of our worship as a family.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Brings back memories.
yeah. Some of the good part of being young. And we'll be getting with the GRM awards. They're going to be doing some presentations there, and we may be singing a couple of songs. I'm not sure.
It's very thoughtful and it's going to be very nice. Looking forward to it.
Yes, it's definitely going to be a different new experience.
You know, music for us has changed quite a bit since then. We weren't an enterprise or anything. We did it for love. And I think my mother would tell us that they gave us an offering and she put it back in the church. So we weren't out there as a paying partner or anything. So that's the Manuel sisters in a nutshell.
I don't think any of us are taking it easy. We perform only with our churches
Right.
and like that, so that's hard to say.
We haven't thought that far ahead. Just one day at a time.
I believe that's Thursday, the 23rd of August at 7 p.m.
In Berkeley.
Neighborly Poet Center. Neighborly Poet Center.
Neighborhood Poet Center.
Neighborly Poet Center.
Neighborly. Okay.
Bowling?
Poet.
Poet. Neighborly Poet Center.
Oh, hope to see you there.
That would be very nice.
Okay. Mhm.
Learn. Learn.
I always advise my students, there's nothing new under the sun. If you're going to call it yours, you better know how to write it down and prove it's yours. And, technology is a big help in everything. But I'm sorry, you can't make up a beat that Beethoven, Brahms, or Bach didn't already use. It's just at a different tempo with a different emphasis. So you need to know how to write it down and make it yours so nobody can take it away from you. Once it's out there, anybody can use it. So if your idea is to make it yours and make money and a career, you need to know how to write it down, how to know it's yours, how to recognize it if somebody else is using it. Take care of yourself. Keep yourself on the ball.
Copyright your work.
Yeah. Learn how to write it down and copyright it.
Personally, I think it helps to learn about the past so that you kind of have an idea of where you came from, and that gives you a better idea of where you're going. I love music with beautiful words as well as a beautiful melody. That's really important to me as far as what I enjoy just listening to. And so that to me is important. And I would hope that our young people would also have an appreciation for the beauty that is in music. It just makes life so much more bearable, especially when we go through the trials and tribulations that we have to go through. The truth in our spirituals and in our hymns can strengthen us so that it helps us feel that we're closer to the Lord and we know that He's there upholding us. And although everyone has to go through trials and tribulations, God is always there. And some of these songs remind us that He's there for us and to help bring us through whatever it is we have to go through.
I think it's important if you go into any of the arts that you go in for the love of the art, because it is hard work. and it's a lot of tedious hours that you feel like you're wasting sometimes, but it's not wasted. All the experience is gold. But it's important that you love what you do, whether it's singing, playing an instrument, or building a cabinet. It's all art. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. We always, we always will be the Manuel sisters.
The Grand Royale Music Awards will take place yeah, August
August.
23rd from 7 to 10 p.m. at Neighborly Poet Center. That's on San Pablo. It's across the street from 7-Eleven. Neighborly.
It's in Berkeley.
In Berkeley, yeah. I can't hear him. You guys can hear him.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
us.
That would be nice. That would be great.
I hear there's going to be a red carpet there. Mhm. Me neither.
Me neither.
You're right.
Yeah.
Same here.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You have a great day.
You,
Yes. Have a wonderful Sunday.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.